Hello, welcome. I'm Grant Richards.
I'm Tim Allen.
And this is the Introduction to Screenwriting class. Tim and I wanted to do this introduction because this is a purely online class. And some of you I know who are taking the class haven't taken any of our other classes. Where a lot of the production classes, we work for hours and hours making movies with students. But this, as an online class, some of you might not know us, and so we wanted for you to get to know us, your instructors.
Yeah, Grant and I have both written scripts, have made feature films and short films, and work in creating content daily almost. Definitely something's always in production, so we know what it's like to start with a blank page, write words, and then be able to watch what you made on a big screen in a movie theater. It's a great feeling. Screenwriting is an excellent skill to have, and it's a very hard skill to have, and that's what's fun about this class. Is we'll definitely work together to learn the proper formatting of a screenplay, what it means to write story structure, and how to put it all together. And hopefully, at the end of this class, we hope that you have something that you could take our filmmaking class and have produced at GAV. We really want to read your scripts and be able to be like, that's really doable here at GAV, right, Grant? Like, yeah. we are excited. This one's a really fun one. This is some of our favorite stuff to teach in this class.
Yeah. I think Tim and I should talk about, Tim talked about how we both have written and produced work. Tim and I had the pleasure of working together just a couple years ago. We had a feature film called On the Couch, and it was a collection of short segments that fit into a feature film. And Tim wrote and directed a segment. I wrote and directed a couple segments. And some of our key students, best students, wrote and directed segments. And now we're about to have another film in theaters called Do Not Disturb. And it's a collection of short films that all take place in the same hotel room. So the best writers and directors can sometimes team up with us to make things. The other thing I wanted to talk about is that Tim and I in the past have had writers' workshops. And this is completely optional because this is entirely an online class. But if you're interested in getting face-to-face feedback from not only Tim and me, but some of your classmates, we have what we call writers' workshops, and they end up being big parties. We bring lots of food. I don't know why, but it always seems to be Togo sandwiches and other snacks. And then we read each other's work. It's so great to hear your words, especially your characters saying things aloud and getting feedback from lots of people. So if you're interested, let us know, and we will set up one or two or many of these. We've had semesters where we do one every week. We've had other semesters where it's every other week, or other semesters where we only do one or two of them. So
it's all based off of what you want. So it's if this is something that you're interested in, please send us a note, because if we get 2 or 3 of you who are interested, we'll for sure do it. But if no one's going to show up, Grant and I, we
can hang out together.
We hang out all the time,
yeah.
So we'll have a party at his house rather than the TV studio, which is where what's fun. If you haven't been on campus, we have the television studio on GAV, which actually serves as our sound stage for a lot of our student films, where we have a set. We have the set has been a mental patient ward. It's been a bedroom, been an office,
living room,
a priest's office,
a confessional.
Yeah, sci-fi future laboratory. So lots of different things. Lots of people get murdered in the TV studio in our films. But
you're safe if you come.
It's a great opportunity. So let us know. Just reach out, send us a message or comment on this, and let us know if you'd be interested in that. That being said, make sure that you have read the syllabus. It has all our information. Our class is based off of points, 1,000 points. based off of your discussions, based off of your submissions. But most importantly, on the syllabus, it has our contact information, which includes our email and our phone numbers.
Yeah, and we don't give, or at least I don't give all of my classes my cell number. This is one of the special classes. Screenwriting is special to me, to us. And so if you have some question and email's not fast enough, feel free to text us. Our cell numbers though are for texting. So please text us. And then if we have time, and maybe we'll call you and we can talk, but text us and you can see our numbers. Please identify yourself and the class that you're in too. I have over 1,000 students this semester,
Yeah.
so.
And I have less, but I have little kids, like Grant said. So definitely, like, texting is the #1 way to reach us immediately, and we'll probably respond right away. But you can also use the Canvas inbox. You can email us. But yes, please identify. I'll get at least 3 or 4 texts from a number I don't know that's asking me a specific question. And then I have to say, who is this? What's this about? Because I don't want to get scammed, right? But usually it's like, hey, I'm not going to be there at class today. And I'm like, great, who is this? I don't know who this is. So yeah, please just say, hey, Grant, or I'd be like, hey, Grant, this is Tim from screenplay class. Please know that I'm not going to be there. Or I just sent you another draft. Can you look at it?
Yeah. The other thing I wanted to mention, there's going to be weekly assignments, and you can see every module for the entire semester. Tim and I have got them all done and up, so you can see what you'll be reading, what things you should be doing. There'll be discussions where we ask you to do some dialogue or a variety of things, and then read each other's work and then give feedback. And Tim and I will do that as well. But one of the things that we wanted to talk about, the class used to be written where you were to write the first act of a feature-length screenplay. And a lot of people think, hey, I want to write my own feature screenplay. But a lot of people write them and nothing is ever done with them. My father's a professional writer. He's written, I think it's something like 25 novels and plays, and I think he's written over 20 screenplays, but none of them have been produced. One of the things that we do is we run a production class. Actually, it's a series of classes, and we make films, but they need to be short films, things that we can actually do. So if you're doing something crazy in yours that takes place on Mars and characters are flying around in spacesuits in zero gravity, we're not likely to be able to do that. But if you write things that we can actually film, we would like to produce your screenplay. So instead of writing 30 or 40 pages of the first act, which you absolutely still can do, if you want to write a short screenplay or two, instead, if they're good and we think we can do it, we might produce them either later this semester or in the fall semester. And so that's an option for you too.
Yeah, and the thing that you'll learn in this class is 1 page of screenplay equals 1 minute on the screen. Usually, that's a good indicator. So if you're writing a feature film, it has to be at least 90 pages. And that's pretty daunting if you think about it. So the first act is 30 pages, but a short film could be 5 pages, 6 pages, 8 pages, 11 pages, all the way up to like 25 minutes or 25 pages. So that's totally a great option for you to go with. Or if you want to work, now realize that the first act is about 30 minutes and really is the setup. So if you what's fun about a short film is you get that 3-act structure in 20 pages. So the setup, the process, and then the conclusion. So the climax of the film is usually the most exciting part. That's when Indiana Jones is the Ark of the Covenant gets opened and kills all the Nazis. But there's setup in the beginning where it's less exciting. So.
Yeah. So there are fewer characters, fewer scenes, shorter scenes, but it still has that beginning, middle, and end to it. But we'll give you lots of examples. In fact, there are some things that we've already written that are up there, and we're going to read some feature-length screenplays. I think Tim's script is Get Out, and mine is The Shawshank Redemption. So two brilliant screenplays. I'm surprised you actually didn't have Back to the Future, because I know how much you love that.
I like that one. The screenplay is not as
Clever.
well. It's different than the actual movie.
Oh.
So the shooting script is different than the original screenplay. So. But I like Get Out a lot. It's a horror film by Jordan Peele, so I think that it's interesting that it changes from the final film and the real film. So we'll have you read the screenplays. You can download them. We give you a copy of it, and just know that like it's written. Screenwriting is written in a very specific way to help forward the production. So there are we're not as flowery as like a novel writing would be. You're basically telling only the essential elements because
What you can see or hear on screen.
Yeah.
And dialogue.
Yeah, because everything, if you're just solely a screenwriter, you write a script and then you hand it over, and the creative process changes to a director, to the actors, to the editor, who will then change elements. Screenwriting can be frustrating if you like have this vision in your head, and I've heard many screenwriters complain like, well, that's not what I wrote, but that's part of the process, and that's what's great about filmmaking is it takes a team, it takes a lot of effort to make something really great.
Yeah. The other thing that you should know is that we're writing spec scripts. That is scripts to sell the story. We are not writing shooting scripts, which are what a director, for example, does after he or she gets their hands on it, and they start talking about camera movement and angles and all of that. This is selling the story and the idea. There's a very specific format, and Tim and I will talk about that a lot this semester. So anyways, this was mainly just an introduction so you get to know who we are, and we want to find out what it is that you want or need from the class. If you want to have optional Zoom sessions to talk about things, we can do that. We would love to have writing workshops for those of you who can come. And even if you can't come, if you want to join us in Zoom, we can put a laptop on a chair so you can be there and observe or participate as much as Zoom allows that. But anyways, writing is fun. It's one of my favorite parts of filmmaking. I love telling the story. My wife and I just wrote a screenplay last weekend for us to produce this semester, and we had fun talking about it, and so we're excited and eager to read your work this semester.
Yeah.
So anyways, reach out to us, text us, email us if you have any questions, and can't wait to see what you come up with.
Get to writing.